Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our Success Thursday, one of the most important questions of the week, and we have with us to answer this question, Mirela Mus. Hey Mirela, welcome back.
Hi.
So let's first start with the retrospective. We'll talk about success in a minute, but tell us Mirela, what do you think is the retrospective that all product owners should ask their Scrum Masters to facilitate?
I cannot really generalize. It depends also what's happening at the team. In theory, they're pretty good. So we also host async retros at Product People as a company. We have them for our client engagements as well internally. And we tend to also do a write-up, not only of the case studies, but in case some things could work better next time, we also write a story about it. And we call it a Julia stories because saying fuck up stories, it's a bit more blamey. And I think the ones, either they should have a pre-mortem, but that's sometimes too much to ask. And we've also said many times, okay, let's do a pre-mortem so we see the risks for this, especially if an engagement looks more difficult than in general. But the post-mortems have also helped a lot. And running one that's non-blaming, looking, okay, what could we have done better with what we knew at that time? And I think this is super important. There's a book by a former poker player, Annie Durk, called Thinking in Bets, where she teaches that you should avoid the resulting, meaning if something came out good, thinking what you did was good, and if something comes out bad, meaning everything you did was bad. It's usually a mix of things, and you could also do very bad things or decisions and end up with a positive outcome because you were lucky. So considering starting to drive a car when you're very drunk, you may end up home safe and not hit anyone, but maybe due to luck, definitely not to do the decision that you made, and the decision you made increases the likelihood you or someone would get hurt if you repeat this. This is the same for working together. Having retros happening once in a while, or if there's a certain event, is something I recommend for everyone. Probably tuning the frequency. We noticed that at some point we had it so often that the things that came up for improvement were always the same, just because there wasn't enough time for some actions to unroll and have an effect, especially when you're doing ways of working, or if something you're planning to change is a bit more fundamental, it's not going to happen in 2 weeks. It may take a quarter. One case is that people were reporting they were very tired on average at Product People, and we did notice that many people haven't taken vacations over the winter, so they came into Q1 quite exhausted and with a lot of vacation days. So then we added this part of organizing proactively vacations for people, even if they're engaged at clients, so that there's a backup coming in. But that, of course, took now 2 months to clear out all these vacation days. And it also helped that we have a day by the time they expire. So at the end of Q2, all the vacations from last year would expire, which motivated people to organize vacations themselves as well. So that would be an example that not necessarily the ways of working or something needed to be changed, is that just people got so caught up in the day-to-day client work that they felt they couldn't step out. That stepping up is so important for everyone, including for the client, that the person now performs better after they're rested.
Absolutely. So a lot of ideas about retrospectives also at the organization level. Thank you for sharing that, Mirela. So now let's dive into the success question. Now you have many product owners and product managers working at Product People. And of course, you've interacted with many product owners and product managers yourself also at clients. What do you think? What are the key things that make a successful product owner?
It depends what you want them to do. I guess there's no generic framework, or if it is, it won't be very helpful. So that's why I would question, okay, where are you bringing these people in? What's the size of the organization? Is it B2B, B2C? Are you post, pre product market fit? What are the current challenges and dynamics this person will need to operate in? And then figure out who could successfully do things there or even overcome the existing challenges. A friend of mine once said that, a person is at Google, and people always come to Google employees and it's like, oh, everything seems wonderful there. And the person said, no, you're actually choosing your poison or choosing which disadvantages you want to live with. There are some things working here better, other things don't. And that's the same with a person in an organization. So you need to understand what are the must-haves for this person to operate well in your culture and your type of product at the stage you're at. Rather than, I don't know, just hiring someone from a shiny brand or from a competitor or with a random industry tag. Just because you're doing mobility doesn't mean that anyone you would hire from a mobility company is going to fit. Or
and sometimes even the opposite, right? Like sometimes you need a different perspective even.
Yes. But many times we see like people just hire from their competitors or the other 5 companies that they know. The smarter ones sometimes look at what challenges other companies needed to face, even if they are not competitors, or and that is more interesting. For example, if you're a company that needs to deal with near instant type of orders, like food delivery or taxi companies would have similar challenges. Let's say if you're looking for someone to solve fraud, then you can't take someone who solved fraud at IKEA, because IKEA has these long delivery dates. Even if an order is fraudulent, you can even afford to have someone manually review the order. But if you're having small ticket orders into the thousands, and it's either food delivery or taxis, and it needs to happen right now, right? People cancel an Uber if it's over 5 minutes. So it's unlikely that a human will have time to review the transaction and see, okay, this is a fraud account, or like someone is abusing the voucher referrals and so on. No, you're going to let it through, and then at some point improve your model after looking back at the manually tagged fraud orders. But it also just changes completely the dynamics. We've had the CPO of Clue, Rhiannon, have a very good talk on our community live stream events, which you can also find on YouTube, where she said that the business model hardens the product organization. So looking at your business model now, or what you're predicting it to be, what kind of people would operate well there? Because someone who does very well on B2B SaaS, dealing with enterprise, may not do so well being put on a consumer product where you need to to apply different tactics. Some tactics are pertaining to another, but also the culture and the ways of working is very different, right?
Yeah,
on a B2C
and
product,
another
you may have a lot more
aspect that comes
experimentation.
to mind is also the need to adapt to a kind of a new domain or new business versus optimizing something that is in an established business.
Yes, that's also true.
So when you think about this different aspects, and even potentially the ability to go and work in completely different business models, it starts to sound to me that either you have a very large pool where you can hire from, like from product people, where you have a lot of experienced product owners, or you really need to be targeted in the type of skills you're looking for, and the skills you're looking for in a product owner don't necessarily relate to the product. They might relate to the ability to learn new business models, to the ability to learn how to experiment in the market, right?
100%. Yeah. So cognitive flexibility is something we look at as well with ambition and just appetite to dive into something new and figure it out. It's not something we invented. Obviously, McKinsey, BCG, Bain have been doing this for, I think, close to 100 years. And their whole thing was take people out of college that are very smart and motivated, figure out how you hire these people and just throw them in somewhere with some more senior folk, and then they will figure it out. For product managers, it's a bit more difficult. We can't take people out of college because they won't even know like how to answer their calendar invites. And product also needs life experience and some work experience to be able to make sound decisions on a day-to-day basis. Also getting the respect of these more complex functions they're working with.
Yeah.
But
networking is a key skill as well, of course.
Yes, we do have certain experiences within our company that repeat over time. So we're operating the best post-product market fit, usually Series A plus or Series B to publicly listed in digital-first companies. And that's already a very good pool of clients. We sometimes also would do earlier stage Series A or seed, most likely health tech, because these get enough funding and realize the need for the PM very early compared to others due to just the regulatory requirements being heavy to get anything off the ground.
And needing that support.
So you're right. We have an ideal customer profile that is Series B to publicly listed companies that are digital first. We also operate successfully for health techs or companies that are in a heavy regulatory environment that are earlier stage, just due to the consistent need of product work that is way more difficult than for any other type of companies. And through the fact that we optimize for this type of customer profiles, we then have a lot of repeatable skills that people have built up, and they can go in at the Series D media company and apply some of the things they've learned at a Series C B2C app. And also this type of companies tend to be organized in a similar way. So everyone will have a customer acquisition growth team. Then they will have the buyer journey or the subscriber journey. Then they will have customer reactivation or retention. And they will have payments and platform experience.
Thank you, Mirela, for sharing so many ideas and thoughts and also perspectives on what makes a great product owner.
My pleasure.
Part of a successful Scrum Master job is to help the product owner. Tomorrow we explore that critical role in Scrum, the product owner role. Tune in to learn about product owner anti-patterns, what you can do to help the product owner, and a real-life example of what a great product owner is and what made it so. Tomorrow on our Friday Product Owner episode. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.